Hey guys, welcome back. Don't be scared. You are watching the right channel. You're watching the right show. We've been talking about a big title for the last couple of months, more specifically the last couple of weeks, and we're going to be doing it right now. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Great song choice. Oh.
Love is kind of crazy with a spooky little girl like you. And a girl like you. Which girl are we talking about? We're talking about Ashley never mind. We're not talking about her.
We're talking about Sabrina.
Yes,
Yeah?
we are.
Yeah.
She already gave it away. All right, guys. Welcome back. You are watching Netflix Picks. I'm Rick Hong, and joining me today on the other side of the table, I have Martha Kent.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Hello, guys.
No.
I'm Amy Cassandra Martinez, and I am in the chat, so please join us there right now.
And I've got Tony Stark next to me.
It's Steve.
Steve
It's
Kaufman.
Steve. Hey there, citizens. I'm Steve Kaufman.
But not to be confused with Steve Rogers.
No, it's Steve Kaufman. Captain Steve Kaufman.
And just like I said last week, again, she is scared of this month because all we're talking about are scary things. So Ashley Cheney is not here, but she will be back very soon. And you guys can always follow her at Ashley on camera. But today we are talking the chilling adventures of Sabrina. We've all watched at least some of it.
Mm-hmm.
And Amy, so Netflix original film, television releases. What'd you think?
So freaking good. Yeah, I've seen 2 episodes. I thought I saw more, but no, I'm sure it's been only 2, and it feels like they've covered so much already, and it's so good. It's so much better than I thought it would be. It's darker than I thought it would be, which I also appreciate. I think that, especially being a fan of the originals, it was just Sabrina, and then it was, she went into college and stuff. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised by how much I got into it and how quickly I got into it. And it's one of those things where I actually do want to keep watching it. I think that sometimes, we'll watch an episode or 2 of a show and it's just okay, cool, to kind of get a feel for it. But this is one that I definitely do want to kind of take my time with and enjoy it and watch the whole freaking thing. And I have a black cat. His name is Spielberg, and every single time Salem comes on camera, I'm like, look, honey, that's you. So it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I want to just watch it with my cat, Spielberg, and just geek out.
So when you're talking about original, you meant the Melissa Joan Hart ABC series.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the day.
I'm familiar with that series. That series.
Everybody is. But it was that's definitely a half-hour network, very watered down. It was still part of that TGIF.
Well, because the TGIF comedy is a subgenre of the regular sitcom. Because Cheers is a regular sitcom, and then Sabrina the Teenage Witch is a family sitcom.
Yeah.
Because that was back when sitcoms were so cool and so rampant. There were multiple types of sitcom. That Sabrina the Teenage Witch was a very family-oriented half-hour comedy, nobody dies kind of a sitcom, and that is not what this is. Oh. And I prefer this.
Yeah.
Yes. So you watched the first episode.
I saw the first episode. I thought this was very witchy, very fun, very sexy, very dark. It's everything I assume Riverdale is. I've yet to see Riverdale, and it's the same. It's the same crew. It's that Warner Brothers television crew that's been killing it on the CW ever since the first season of Arrow.
Also is executive produced by Greg Berlanti, who pretty much owns the CW with all the shows. But yeah, he does Riverdale as well.
And Warner Brothers television to a certain extent, DC television, it's really. They know their tone. I've talked about Black Lightning here as well, that you nail your tone and then you go from there, and that's what they're doing with this one.
So what do you guys think? So when Netflix first started dropping original series, they tested it just kind of like how networks did it. Like networks, it's either 13 or 22. So they were doing 13. Lately, I've noticed that they've been doing 10 episodes versus 13. I looked at this one specifically to see, okay, is it 10 or is it 13? Do you think that's better in terms of condensing and being able to just keep the momentum of the story going versus dragging it out a little bit?
I think that's budget. I think someone somewhere assigns a number that's how much money you have, and then someone else, based on the writing and the availability and everything, decides how many episodes. but I think it would be top down from accounting. I don't know that, but that feels like how Netflix is doing things versus how other places do it.
Yeah, guys, this is it's like every episode is about 1 hour, and there's 10 episodes for this first season.
Yeah, well, I mean, I prefer 10 episodes. I think it's nice, even number, and you can feel the compactness, the tightness of it. So I do prefer 10. I also think that the quality of Sabrina, of the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, is so up there. It's so gorgeous. It's so expensive looking. I know we got a few people in the chat that did watch Sabrina. Jay Becker says, I've seen 3 episodes. Love the darkness, the tone of it. So Chill 4 says, binge watch all of it. Only 10 episodes. Really good. I thought it was dark, but had fun moments, which I agree. Yeah.
I like the fact that it's dark as opposed to kind of cheesy. And it's still, at least, I don't think we'll ever see a crossover because of a network issue, even though they share the same executive producer, but they at least keep the same tone. As Riverdale is like also dark drama. There's not like a lot of cheesiness to that show that I've seen out of season 1 anyways.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like Twitter would have spoiled it for me. So Melissa Joan Hart does not show up in any of these 10
I don't
episodes?
know.
I mean, guys, if she does, don't let us know.
I feel like that would be in my universe. I feel like I would have heard about that.
I think that they probably want to make sure that they don't do this one with any distractions, then see how it plays out. Then possibly, I'm sure we could see maybe a Melissa Joan Hart or one of those actors from the show as a cameo maybe in this season 2. But I think it's good to separate themselves for this first season away from the original, even though probably a lot of the viewers now probably don't even really remember that one too much. Because Emmy was she wasn't even born then. So
I was born like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
guys. I just keep getting younger and younger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but did you guys see, I think it was on Twitter, they shared that, the original cast just sent their best wishes to this new cast. And I was like, that's so nice.
Yeah, it is.
I love that. And they were just, giving them advice for, Hilda 2.0, Zelda 2.0, blah, blah, blah. It was really nice.
And then, so what's cool too is that Steve and I last week, we said we'd be talking about it this week, so we will. We'll spend a little time talking about it. But what they do is they have these pop-ups that happen. So they had Sabrina had their premiere last Friday at the Hollywood Athletic Club, and then over that weekend after they stopped it, they had a pop-up and they allowed it to certain people who went on
had
Eventbrite.
We're in a couple different Facebook groups. The link popped up would be the best way to describe it for us.
Yeah,
so we weren't invited by any stretch. We're not that famous yet. We will be. One day we will be the kind of people that they will break down our door to make us go do cool stuff like this. Now we have to find the link. On the Facebook groups.
If you go to their social media, Sabrina Netflix, I believe you'll be able to see some of those behind the scenes. But they basically had stations where they put a specific designed nail polish thing on you, or they'll put a certain type of lipstick, or they had these flowery wreaths. And then,
the wreaths are...
And then you could go upstairs, and upstairs they had different rooms, and the big hit, the big long line that they had, I'm sure you guys might have seen it on the Sabrina Netflix social media, is you go through this hallway that has these lockers that pop open, and they do it in real slow motion, so it looks really, really cool.
I did look very, very cool doing that. It's on both my Twitter and my Instagram.
You had to get the timing right for it, so...
I was shocked I got the timing right. I chose something where the timing could be off and still work, and then I nailed the timing. And everyone who saw that in person was I think the best moment they didn't catch on camera, which was that look on your face of just I nailed it. After it was over. Just that self-congratulatory look.
So it was a fun time. It was great to be there, Amy.
Well, last few thoughts from the chat, because you guys are just going off, which is great. Keep those comments coming. So Jay Becker is actually not a huge fan of Sabrina. She was worried about she was unsure about the dialogue. So she said no teenager talks like that. But Rory Fansler says seen several episodes and like it so far. Natty PR84 liked it. Denny Willett said, I loved it. It was so close to the new graphic novels, which were amazing, and I love that it's different, but has callbacks to the original comics and the 90s show. Rory Fansler also said, I remember the original. It was a fun show. This one, I worry the censors may go after it. And yeah, I mean, people are talking about the graphic novels, that they're dark, so that's cool, because, I mean, these are things that I did not know about, but I really do love how dark it's getting.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of dark, I stayed with the Halloween theme, and I watched a Netflix original film, Apostle. And it stars Dan Stevens. If you guys watch the TV show Legion, he's a lead in that. And also, he's from Downton Abbey. And I got to say, I watched 2 hours of this supernatural movie. It took about over an hour to get picked up. The last half hour really did, but I got to say pass. It's basically this guy back in like the kind of the witch occult times, and he finds out that his sister like goes to this village and then she's not heard of, so he has to go investigate to figure out what happened to my sister, where is she. And they had, like, this village has like these supernatural elements, but I was bored for a long time. And like I said, it starts picking up after an hour, and in the last 30 minutes, it really gets going. So if you're really kind of curious, I would say maybe watch like the first 15 minutes to kind of get the idea of the story, either fast forward to the hour mark, or even just like watch like the last half hour to kind of get an idea. But overall, I was disappointed with the movie, and it kind of seems to be a theme for a Netflix original film. There's not that many that I'm like, yes, this was a hit. So, yeah, so, but like, you know, it was in the, this movie was also directed by Gareth Evans, who did The Raid 1 and 2. Those are awesome movies, which I really liked. But that's why another reason I watched this, but it was not as good as those. So if The Raid 1 and 2 ever pops up on Netflix, that's what I would say to watch. But something in a lighter mood. Amy, you watched the Adam Sandler special.
100% fresh. Yes, what it's called.
Was it fresh?
It was fresh.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, so, I mean, I remember growing up with Adam Sandler being funny and, you know, Big Daddy, you know, those kinds of movies. So this kind of comedy kind of brought me back to that. It is a stand-up, but it's very enjoyable. Definitely something that's, you know, if you don't want to watch something that scares the crap out of you, watch this and you'll be happy and you'll be laughing. Yeah, I think I loved it. It's so much better than, what was that one movie that he was in?
So
we try to pretend it didn't happen, but this, we want more of. More of this, please.
Probably Sandy Wexler. If you're talking about
the week of.
The week of.
Oh, the week
The one
of.
with
It
Chris
wasn't
Rock.
like, it wasn't that bad, but I wanted it to be better, is all I'm saying. So this was for sure.
Hour and a
better.
half, 2 hours.
I think it was closer to an hour and a half.
Hour and a
Okay.
half.
I think
All
so.
right.
Yeah, it didn't feel long. It felt fun.
Well, 'cause-
It's just like, yeah, dude, like getting back home, like to his comedy roots, I would say.
So he sticks to his comedy roots. He doesn't do, because his comedy roots was very song and dance character. So he doesn't do.
Yeah, there's song and dance.
Because what I would find interesting from him is if he did some level of like self-reflective version, at least in transition. But I think that's not what he would do. I think he would just be like, I'm back to my roots. Scabba-da-dooba-da-bow.
I mean, there was some of the
Of course.
but I tried. No, but there was a lot of like, you know, the fun singing, the dancing, and that's what I love. I do have to kind of call out Star Drew because your comment is, first of all, it's wrong, but I also appreciate that you're taking time to join our chat. Star Drew says 50 blind dates might be the worst rom-com, so it's 50 first dates. And it's one of his best rom-coms.
It is one of
I
his
would
best
say.
ones. But first,
But, yeah.
well, since Star Drew is in our chat, Steve Coppin, our audience can do something for us.
Yes, they can. Hey, AfterBuzzers. How about you help me sock old Adolf on the oh, sorry, wrong one. Hey, AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite television shows, from dramas, reality television, sci-fi, and more. There is no network that works harder to serve television fans, but we need your help. We are asking you that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that is tailor-made for you, and you will help AfterBuzz TV grow. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button now for this channel, and check out all our other AfterBuzz TV YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did in the comments, and we will thank you on air. So for now, thank you for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Awesome. So non-Netflix film and television. Amy, you watched another series that's kind of reborn. It kind of stays in that witch theme that we're in, this Halloween theme. So you watched Charmed.
Yeah, but I watched the original.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so here's the thing. I haven't seen the new one. Like, I haven't seen the new Charmed. But just looking at all of the posters, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go back and watch the first, because I did grow up watching Charmed. So I saw the pilot, and it's just as good as I remember.
Being in 4x3?
Huh?
Being in 4x3 versus Letterboxd, because like that was back in the day. That was it.
Well,
Yeah.
That's how they film stuff.
But I think these girls, that are doing it again, like, good for them. I think we're in a very tricky situation in Hollywood where it's just, people are rebooting things and it can easily go south. So I think they have so much pressure on them. I'm also very hesitant because it is like another reboot, but I wish them the best. I still, like I said, I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I mean, these are my girls. These are the ones
so
that
we have a young Rose McGowan. We have Alyssa Milano and Shannon Doherty and
Holly Marie Combs.
Yeah, Holly Marie Combs. So
Yeah, if you haven't actually seen the original Charmed, watch it. It's great. I loved it. I think I feel like, when you're growing up and you're watching these shows, they kind of shape who you are. So not saying I'm a witch, but because I'm not.
Well, they all have dark hair like you, so I mean.
Yeah. But if you have seen the new Charmed, that is on CW, let us know what you think. Because I know we don't really talk about it here because it's not on Netflix, but that is.
But we do offer the after show here at AfterBuzz TV. So like if you're curious, go find it online and watch it, and you can follow along with those for that panel.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Do the effects hold up? I'm I'm remembering them. I feel like they were half practical, like Angel and like Buffy, like the shows of the time.
Oh my god!
Because this is like late 90s, early 2000s when this series aired.
But back then CG was expensive, and hiring a guy to just do a puppet wasn't, or a miniature wasn't. So I feel like there's more practical effects on those shows than bad CG. That it might actually hold up more than it doesn't.
Like, it's not the best thing in the world, and you kind of just have to like pretend it's not as old as it is, but it's still really good. And you know what? A lot of you guys in the chat really love Charmed. Star Drew, Charmed is out on DVD season 1. I didn't know that. So Chill 4 says Charmed.
DVD, but you can get it on Netflix. That's why you watch this. It's like we're telling you right now. You don't need to get on DVD.
But there are some people that like to collect these DVDs.
Actually, the DVD is also what Netflix doesn't have, and I've had this discussion before, is the featurettes. Sometimes like there's deleted scenes or like maybe some commentary. So like actually like touche, like Star Drew, that's actually good about the DVD box sets.
Might be worth the extra $5 a month. Get Netflix send you the DVD.
Yeah, wow, you guys love Charmed. This is great. I didn't know this. We should really talk about Charmed more. But yeah, didn't know that. Oh, Jay Becker says Lady Power. Rory says love the original, looking for the new one. Did not know it aired yet. Yeah, it does. It did. Yeah. You guys love Charmed. This is great. I'm so excited.
No, it's a great choice. It's a great choice.
I agree.
So I watched 7 in Heaven, and this isn't the WB show Seventh Heaven.
I was really interested in your hot takes on Seventh Heaven.
So 7 in Heaven is a movie that is released by Blumhouse.
Okay.
And I don't believe it was released theatrically, but just released straight to, either video on demand or maybe like on Blu-ray. And it's based on the old mythology of 7 Minutes in Heaven, where you go to a party when you're in high school, or maybe, God, I hope not junior high, but usually like you go into a room with somebody for like 7 minutes, and you're kind of free to maybe kiss, hold hands, I don't know,
and then embellish,
poke each other's eyes. I don't know.
Embellish at least 200% what you actually did.
Yeah,
once you get out.
Exactly. So the premise is actually good. And this movie was like an hour and a half. Blumhouse. I watched it, and there are holes. There are holes in this movie, therefore it felt like the movie just needed like 1 or 2 more passes, but it had a great premise. I mean, these kids go to a party, they go to a party and they're upstairs and they realize like the closet has like this like extra little room, so they start playing the game. 2 of the leads disappear. Like they go into the room for 7 minutes, and then the people on the outside open up the door, they're not there, the 2 leads wake up, or like they open the door to like a different parallel universe.
Ooh, it's like Narnia.
Yes.
A little bit, yeah, sure. I mean, sure. But, and so like there are like some great, that's what I'm saying, there's some great ideas there, but the execution, some of the rules of how the universes work, and certain people that help them kind of get back to their old world, like that's where the holes are. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I mean, I'm conflicted on it. I mean, it's like something to have like on in the background. It follows like that Halloween theme, but not something that I would say is a great movie. Better than Apostle. Better than Apostle. This is at least watchable, knowing that it has some holes and there's some
Okay.
cheesiness to it. But
Like, are you recommending it or no?
I mean, I didn't hate this one, but it has holes. It has holes. Something that you can kind of just, like I said, have on in the background, or if you just really don't want to think too hard, then you can pop it on. I wouldn't even really say it's like that scary. Maybe a little bit of suspense or more like mystery.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah. Blumhouse is doing a good job of it. And I also think they're smart with their distribution strategy that they already did.
Blumhouse guys does paranormal activity. They just did Halloween, the remake of Halloween.
They
as producers.
They also did Get Out. They also did, they do a wide range of really good horror films. Like they're reinventing the horror genre. What's the name of the Happy Death Day?
Yeah.
Happy Death Day was one that did get a wide release. That, I mean, in the sense of a similar timelines, I think they're very strategic over what they release, in the box office versus what they do VOD than Netflix.
Yep.
So this sounds good for that.
We do have a question in the chat. Jay Becker's asking, what age group would you say this is for?
Oh, this is high school.
Oh wow,
This is high school. Like it was definitely made for like the millennial generation in terms of like watchability. So
They don't use like social media in an annoying way, do they? In
In
the
this?
movie, yeah.
there's texting, but that's just
Okay.
that's just communicate. Like that's just a way of communicating.
Okay, because that always scares me. When you say it's like, oh, it's for millennials or it's for high schoolers, does that mean there's gonna be like text bubbles that pop up, or it's like, oh my god, TTYL? Like, no.
No, not
There's
like
gonna be a
that.
whole
cool.
scene with a bunch of people just sitting in a room texting each other.
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
Snap texting,
Snap that.
chatgramming.
Well, you guys, you can always tune in and watch us every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. However, if you can't, there is another way that you can do it, and Amy Cassandra Martinez will let you know.
Yeah, you guys can listen to us. I mean, you're listening to us and probably watching us as well. But if not, you can listen to us on iTunes, on Spotify as well, on Apple Podcasts. All you need to do, though, once you are listening to us, is just give us 5 stars. Because why not, right? Because we're telling you guys what to watch, but most importantly, what not to watch on Netflix so you don't waste your time. So, go ahead, do your thing. Give us 5 stars.
And finally, hidden gems and revisits. This is a hidden gem from back in the day, and this also, it kind of follows the theme of Halloween. It's not scary, it's not horror, but there's mystery for sure. So this movie stars Richard Gere and Jodie Foster, two legendary actors.
Okay.
And it's back in the 1800s. Richard Gere has been off at the Civil War forever. Comes back into his town, presumed dead. Presumed dead so much that Jodie Foster, Summersby. Sorry, the movie's called Summersby. I'm sorry, like I'm already
building up to that. You're building up.
Yeah. The movie's called Summersby, and so Richard Gere comes back into town, and Jodie Foster is kind of in a relationship with Bill Pullman.
Oh my gosh, I love Bill Pullman.
Because he's presumed dead. So he comes back and he starts, building his relationship back with the town, with her. But there's some like mysterious things that are going on while he's doing this. He's definitely like kind of a changed man. When he first was married to her, he was kind of a jerk, and he's very loving to her now. And at one point, he goes to get new shoes. And when he goes to get new shoes, the shoemaker or the shoesmith, shoemaker.
Shoemaker.
Yeah, the shoemaker. Just
Let
the
us know
shoemaker.
in the chat. What is that called?
Well, the shoemaker, smart guy. He has everybody's shoe size, like that lives in the village, like already like drawn out and like on this like shelf.
I'm scared.
So he goes to get Richard Gere's, and Richard Gere's feet are 2 sizes too small from the. Yeah.
Cobbler,
So what?
probably a cobbler.
Huh?
Oh,
A shoemaker's a cobbler.
A cobbler.
I got there.
Yes. So there's mystery on who Richard Gere is as he comes back to this town, and it's really a romance. It's a romance movie, but there's mystery to it, and that's what kind of adds. And I really enjoyed. This is a 2-hour movie. I really enjoyed it back in the day. I still enjoyed it as I revisited it, and like I say, it's a hidden gem for you guys to tune in and watch. If you're into like romance and you want to solve like what I just told you,
Well,
you want to
but-
kind of like you're curious
I'm
about, because like no,
scared.
it's not scary, but there's a cool mystery in terms of trying to figure out who he may be. Is he the actual guy, or
What the heck, dude?
That's why. Like I said, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I mean, feel like just giving that one little like scene is like a little too much, but it's very intriguing to figure that out.
Yeah, so people in the chat are like saying, yeah, cobbler, shoemaker works too. So if you guys have other names for people that make shoes, let us know in the comments. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you just want to see like the great Richard Gere and Jodie Foster in a movie together, they do a really, really good job being in this movie.
Yeah. I honestly didn't even know they were in a movie together ever.
This sounds like a linchpin of 6 Degrees of Separation. It's that movie with 6 Degrees. Like
That's not that.
Okay, never mind.
I know that movie though, the Will Smith movie.
No, I'm talking about the game 6 Degrees of Separation, where you need to match one actor with the other, and I'm just like, this is a movie
like
that a lot of people
like 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon type thing. Gotcha.
Sorry, I don't like to include him. It's a game.
Okay.
We do kind of have sort of a challenge from someone in the chat. Special Needs Mommy says, we need more horror. It is Halloween. So I'm taking this as kind of like our personal challenge to watch more horror-related things, guys. So let's do it, okay? From now until Halloween.
Okay.
Okay.
Got
That's it. Period.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Netflix news.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, so Netflix news, Disenchantment got picked up for a season 2. Atypical got picked up for a season 3. American Vandal did not get picked up for a season 3. And something more interesting is, Amy?
Friends from College.
Yeah,
Season 2.
debuting January 11th.
Yes, I'm so excited. Why aren't you guys that excited?
I'm more bummed about American Vandal.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss.
I think that show is incredible.
Well, here's one more bigger thing on the Netflix news platform that I realized is Netflix has gotten critiqued for demographic targeting, meaning that on your thumbnails, there was a movie called Like Father. That was what we talked about here. Kelsey Grammer and Kristen Bell. Instead, they showed 2 African-American actors from the movie on these thumbnails instead, saying like movies that you may like, who aren't even stars of the movie, but they're in the movie. But they're and like it targeted, I believe, an African-American woman.
Really?
What the heck, dude?
I've been reading a lot on the algorithmic not titling, the algorithmic poster, and it sounds to me like every character in every film has their own poster. Because I think we've known before there's already more categories than movies per their algorithm, and they're just doing A/B tests to see if this profile of this user reacted to this type of poster. We have a whole learning tree of other posters we're going to show them. So imagine every title on Netflix has at minimum 25 different options. And then there's a learning tree within that, and it's just a very complicated algorithm. So, but people are trying to break that down into the individual, and it's not as simple as, oh, this user is an African American. That it's not that. It doesn't need that. It'll figure that out on it. It'll figure that out on its own and feed it that automatically.
So that's kind of been popping up
Yes.
in terms of some criticism for Netflix. And kind of weird. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh,
I haven't
no.
seen any Asian like things being targeted towards me.
Well, it's not quite that, but have you ever opened, we should do this next week. Have you ever opened your Netflix and put it against someone else's Netflix?
Well, I mean, it's like obviously going to be different.
But no, like the posters will, like the
thumbnails.
The thumbnails for each film will be different depending on your user profile. And it like drastically changes what the movie is. It's kind of it's very fascinating.
Interesting.
I'll do some homework. I'll prepare a presentation next week.
All right. And
Done.
then finally, top upcoming 3 releases. Here is the big one. House of Cards. House of Cards is finally dropping the final season. We will see what happened to Frank Underwood in this season, and it'll be done after this season, which is probably one of the very first flagship shows on Netflix. And it's going to be one of the first ones to be finally like run the whole series and say, okay, now we're done with it.
like Orange is the New Black, which is also ending.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And then we're going to have also, these two go together, The Other Side of the Wind, which is one of the last movies that was finished and directed by the late, great Orson Welles.
Oh, Oh, wow.
Which also leads into our third upcoming release, which is They'll Love Me When I'm Dead, which is a documentary about the last 15 years of Orson Welles' life in terms of what happened to his career. Because by the end of his career, he was kind of a washout. He was hawking like Rio Niti wine, I believe. So...
Oh.
You can see a lot of not so savory stuff on YouTube of Orson Welles in that time. Well, you just explained my weekend.
So yeah, exactly. So
These two
we'll be talking about that next week. But in the meantime, Amy Cassandra Martinez, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on all social media at Amy Cassandra MTZ. Thank you, honestly, to everyone in the chat. There are so many of you that we can't even like shout you all, but we will for sure thank you in the comments. Thank you. Thank you.
Steve?
Thank you.
And I'm Captain Steve Kaufman. You can find me on Twitter almost exclusively at Steve Kaufman. That is KAUFMANN. Stay in school, kids.
And I'm Rick Hong. You guys can find me on all social media at Rick Hong, RICKHONG. We will be here next week. Have a great Halloween on Wednesday. Maybe we'll have some stories for you. And maybe like another horror movie before then, too.
Yeah.
All right. Same time, same place. Thanks, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.